Today we are going to be pond fishing with topwater lures only. Let's go.
Oh yes, dude. I got him. Let's go. Ooh.
This little bait right here.
Yep, that did it. There's one. 10 minutes on the clock. I mean, somebody call 911. I gotta get checked out after that. Goodness gracious. If I need to, I'll switch it up. That's a bass. Is he big? Oh my gosh.
All right, and welcome back to another ADUB video. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be fishing with nothing but topwater lures. And the way that this video is gonna work is I have this box that has a bunch of different topwater lures in it. And I'm going to randomly pick a bait out of this box every 10 minutes, and we're gonna fish with that bait for 10 minutes, see how many fish we can catch on it, and then move on to the next lure. We have got wake baits, we have got ploppers, we have got buzz baits, we've got walking baits, we have got poppers, and we've even got a couple wild cards like this little bait right here, this bait right here, and even got one that is super old. This is a devil's horse. It is probably 20, 30 years old. Needless to say, we have got just about every type of topwater lure that there is in this box. And I think it's gonna be a fun video trying to figure out what these fish are actually gonna eat. We already know that bass love to eat frogs. We know that they love to eat poppers, but will pond bass hit any of these other lures? We're about to find out. I have got two different rods with me today. One of them has braided line and one of them has monofilament line. The first rod is the Lew's Mach Smash. This is a 7-foot medium heavy, perfect little all-around topwater rod. The monofilament is a floating line. This is 15-pound test, so this is perfect for stuff like the popper and maybe some of those smaller walking baits, stuff like that. And then for our bigger baits, we have got this rod right here. This is a Lew's Signature Series topwater rod, which is a medium action rod, and this is a Hyper Mag reel. I have got 30-pound test braid on here, so this is gonna be our rod for throwing those baits that we don't wanna have any line stretch. We're just gonna go back and forth throughout the day, switching through rods depending on what bait that I pick out of the box. So like I said, 10 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna set a timer on my phone. I'll probably pop one up on the screen as well. And we're gonna go ahead and pick our first lure. I cannot see in here. I'm just gonna look around until I can find one. Well, I guess we're gonna pull all of them out, but the one that I'm touching is this walking bait. So that is gonna be our first bait of the day.
Okay, and we are going to throw the topwater walking bait on the braid rod. This is actually a Strike King Sexy Dog. I don't know. This is the hard knock one, I think. But I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. This one, actually, this is just the regular spook. But I do like the fact that it is black because on cloudy days, the fish tend to eat black baits really, really good. As you can tell, it is really, really cloudy. And the reason for that is because we have a tropical storm blowing in right now. Anybody on the East Coast probably knows about that. I think they're calling it Debbie, because I've been seeing a bunch of little Debbie memes online, but Debbie's blowing in, so we've got some clouds. Oh, I almost forgot to set my timer. Start. Okay, we're good now. So yeah, we're gonna take this thing. Nice. That is not what I was going for there. We're gonna throw this thing for 10 minutes and see what happens. I'm not feeling super confident about it because I never throw walking baits in ponds. I just throw them at the lake, but you never know. I will say, when I'm fishing with a topwater walking bait like this at the lake, usually I catch giants. So maybe that's what will happen in this pond. I don't know. This pond does have some really big fish in it, but it also has some, you know, just decent sized fish, 1, 2, 3 pounds. But there is a couple fish in here over 7 as well. So we really do have the potential to catch a really big one today. I mean, this bait looks really good, sounds really good. I just feel like when you throw a topwater walking bait, it's a big shad imitator, even though this one's black. I just feel like it imitates shad, and in ponds, you just don't have shad, so it's kind of like, doesn't make sense that they would eat it, but at the same time, I mean, there's got to be a fish in here that would eat it, you know? But I'm really looking forward to throwing something like a buzzbait or one of those mock patrollers or a popper. I think those are all going to be really, really good baits to throw today. Let's try one out there in the middle. You never know. You never know. Usually when I'm throwing a walking bait too, I like to have a little bit of wind, and we do not have any wind right now at all. This is the perfect water for throwing something like a popper, a little bit more subtle. But when you're throwing a moving bait, you really want some wind. That really helps with the bite. Oh, golly. Hold on a second. Yeah. Hold on, I'll call you back. Literally, as the timer was going off, we just hooked one. I was on the phone with my buddy, and we just caught our first one as the timer was going off. That's crazy. I already fished down here, but threw down there one more time, we got us a little bass. I thought he was a lot bigger than that, but you know what? We'll take him. First bait, first fish. Let's go, baby. All right, time for bait number 2. I'm not looking. Oh yeah, little mock patroller action. This is the skunk color, black with the white on top so you can see it. We're about to catch a bunch of fish on this, I've got a feeling. Let's get this thing rigged up. You can honestly throw this on monofilament or braid. I'm gonna throw it on the monofilament just to do it, but I've had good success on both. As you can see, I've got some braid on there actually right now from where I've thrown it before. And boom, we are ready to go. I do need to set my timer though and start the 10 minutes. This thing is going to cast a mile. I need to adjust it. You can fish this a couple different ways. I'm sure that a lot of you have fished these before, but one of my favorite ways is just straight retrieve, and every now and again I'll give it a little pop just to give it something a little bit different. Or you can stop it. Sometimes I'll hit it like that, but honestly, you can fish this thing a bunch of different ways and they'll eat it. Some people like to pull it like that, but me, I'm just a straight retrieve kind of guy. Just keep moving. I feel like one crucial part to this is going to be covering water, because we've only got 10 minutes, you know? You just kind of gotta move around and cover some water and hopefully get a few bites. I did forget to mention it, but if you guys do want to get a mock patroller, I do have them linked down below. They also have these over at Dick's. Maybe a couple other stores too, but I know they have them at Dick's. Or you can get them at the link down below. There's the timer. I'm just gonna get this cast in and then we're gonna go pick out another one. Kind of surprising. But sometimes they want a fast moving bait and sometimes they don't. Hopefully the next bait that I pick is gonna be a little bit of a slower bait. Before we get any further into the video, I did want to ask you guys, if you wouldn't mind, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel down below. I am currently at 73,000 subscribers, and I would love to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you guys do enjoy the video, be sure to go down below, leave a like on the video, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. All right, time for bait number 3. Let's see what we get. Oh. This is an interesting bait. I've actually never caught a fish on this. I've had a couple bites on it, but never actually caught a fish on it. Wait till you guys see this thing in the water. So I'm actually gonna go over here and throw some because I haven't been over there much today, but I wanted to throw this right here so y'all could see the action. You probably can't see it yet, but this thing is weird. Basically what it does is it sits in the water like this at an angle, and it just like waggles back and forth like this. And this thing down here is just shining, and it's got this pretty cool little sound to it. The bait will actually sink if you don't keep it on top of the water, so it's more like a buzz bait more than anything. But it's definitely a unique action that you can't really get from any other topwater. So, I don't know. I've thrown it a couple times at the lake, had a couple bites, never caught one on it. But maybe we'll catch our first fish on it today. We're about to try and see. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to set my timer. Start it there. I've probably been fishing about 3 minutes. I just feel like I'm gonna be reeling this thing in, having no confidence, and then like a 7-pounder is gonna blow up on it. There's one. Oh, he came off. No way. See, that's what I've had happen to me before with this bait. When I've thrown it, I've had some bites, but I've never actually caught one. Dang. Well, at least we had a bite. I'll say that. At least we had a bite on it. But honestly, that was probably our one shot to catch one on this bait. That is the timer. Let's try again. We're gonna try to get us a good one. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is one of the baits I've been wanting to throw all day. So I'm excited about that. This is just a little topwater popper, and this is a bluegill pattern, which is absolutely perfect for ponds. Absolutely perfect. And I know exactly where I want to go throw this thing. We're gonna fish it around in a couple different places, but I'm gonna go down to this corner where I told y'all I was gonna catch one, and I'm gonna catch one. We're throwing this on the mock smash. I always throw my poppers on monofilament. That's just what I do. It's what most people do, I think. And I'm excited about that. This is gonna be good. Beautiful first cast too. What I'll do with the poppers, I'll throw it out there, and after it hits the water, you let it sit and let those rings kind of disperse. Then you start working it. You kind of got to figure out what kind of retrieve they want. Sometimes they want it a little bit faster. Sometimes they want it slower. But for right now, I'm just going to give it a little pop, let it sit for a second or two, and pop it again. That's usually my go-to retrieve, and then if I need to, I'll switch it up. That's a bass. Is he big? Oh my gosh. He's not big, but he's not bad. Oh, definitely not bad. Let's go. That is a pretty good fish right there. Not a giant, but first cast on the popper. I've been talking about it all day, about how I really want to throw this bait. Ow, that was sharp. And first cast with the popper, we got him. Look, he got a little bit of lipstick on there, a little bit of yellow lipstick. That's pretty sweet. I thought that I could catch one down here pretty quick, and we got one on literally the first cast. He didn't even come up and like blow up on it. He just kind of came up and just grabbed it, which a lot of the times that's what those big ones do. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, is he big? Because I couldn't even move him at first. And a lot of those big ones, they just come up and just gently grab it. Hopefully we can get a couple more on this thing before our timer is up. We're just gonna keep on covering water. I'm gonna stand in the same spot, cast down here on this grass line a little bit. What a cast. Oh, he missed it. No. No, no, no. Dang it. See if it'll come back. This is probably going to be my last cast. I think we're almost out of time. But it's a good last cast. I like it. And that's our timer. Come on, blow up on it right here at the bank. Come on.
Well, we managed one fish on the popper, but timer's up. It's time to pick another bait. Oh, I actually like that. Little wake bait. Oh yeah, it's a shad pattern, but it should still get bit. I like that.
We are going to throw the wake bait on the mock smash as well with the monofilament. And I'm also going to pack all this stuff up in my bag and walk around the other side of the pond. If we don't catch one on this bait, then I'm going to go to the other pond and see if the fish are biting any better there. They're not biting bad here, but I think they could bite a little bit better. And we're off. All right, 10-minute timer, starting now. We're gonna make a couple casts over here, and then I'm just gonna keep working my way over. With this bait, it's the same way as a patroller or a buzzbait, just straight retrieve. Some people like to burn these. I like to just give it a nice little slow retrieve back in. And sometimes they'll hit this when they won't hit other things because it's a lot more subtle. All right. Let's see if there's something living in this little corner right here. Another really good spot. We are now at the second pond. I don't know how much time I have left, but feeling pretty confident. That was a frog. Feeling pretty confident that I can get bit down here. This pond has got some really big fish in it too, but it's also got a lot of fish. And they tend to be hungry down here. So hopefully they're hungry for a topwater today. There went another frog. Oh, that's a bass. Let's go. Let's go. Not a bad one. Not a giant, but not a bad one. Oh, you're active. I feel like you're gonna hook me. On the buzzer beater again. You got a face full of hooks too, didn't you, homie? Look at that, dude. He's taking a turd. Ew. And a little, bruh. He's gonna give you a little toss. Homie just like made his way back in miraculously somehow. Don't know how, but he did. We've been getting a bunch of rain and this water is actually up right now too. So I bet there's a bunch of fish in this grass, but I don't really have any weedless baits. I don't think. But we'll see what we can pick out of our box. I'm gonna take out my baits that I've already used. Let's see. I'm not looking, y'all. I'm not looking at all. Look, we got another popper. Let's go, dude. This is a black one. I'm not actually looking in the box. Y'all might think I'm looking in the box. I'm not looking in the box. Same setup. Mock smash, monofilament line, and this is a mock spray and shad topwater. This is the bigger size. The small size is excellent for ponds, but if you want to try to get a little bit bigger fish, the big size is perfect for that. But that small size, you can catch so many fish on it. That's the really nice thing about it. Let's go ahead and set our timer. 10 minutes starting now. And I'm going to cast a couple more times right here because I'm seeing some fish activity. That might have just got covered in grass. If you guys want to check out spraying shads, I'll have them linked down below as well. And same thing, they should have them in Dick's Sporting Goods. I filmed a topwater video earlier this year during the spring, and all I did was throw in these spraying shads. I caught so many 3 and 4 pounders, it was insane. Throwing a little bluegill pattern one. That's my favorite popper to throw, is just a bluegill pattern, but these black ones can work pretty good on cloudy days too. Don't knock it till you try it. So surprised I haven't got one yet. Come on, that's such a good cast. I just don't think they like this color. That's what I think it is. I guarantee you, if I had a natural color on, they'd be eating it. Which, on cloudy days, you throw black. That's what you do, but for some reason, they don't want it today. The only black lure that I had a bite on was on that walking bait. Got about a minute left with this bait. Then we have to switch up. I'm gonna come right back over here. I'm gonna try to get a couple casts. Man, them frogs are going crazy. Try to get a couple casts over on this dock. It's just really hard to get a cast anymore because there's trees all around me. I really need to come in here and trim them up. Yep, there's the timer.
All right, I don't even know what lure number this is, but it's time to pick another one. So let's see what we can get. Oh, got the little frog. I don't even know how you're supposed to work this bait, but I think that we should get bit on this because there has been frogs jumping all over the bank since I came down here. So hopefully the bass are eating the frogs and they'll eat this bait.
All right, we are rigged up and ready. Like I said, I do not know the action on this. I haven't started the timer yet, but I kind of want to look at the action and see how you're supposed to fish this thing. Maybe you're supposed to walk it. Can I walk this? Yeah, you kind of walk it a little bit and it just kind of I don't know. Just kind of goes back and forth a little bit. Maybe they'll like it though. I have no idea. It's a little bit difficult to fish right here because of all this tall grass. Hopefully we'll be all right. Get a couple nice long casts out there in the middle. Just kind of work this thing along. Something just came up over there. I don't know if that was a carp or a bass, but I'm about to try to find out. Probably a carp. But it could have been a giant bass. Never know. Oh, he missed it. He missed it. He missed it. He missed it. I thought he had it. By the way, those are definitely carp because another one just did it. But that was not a carp that bit my bait though. That was either a bass or a brim. Whatever it was tiny. Okay, we're gonna finish out our time right here in hopes that there's a frog eater living down here. I'm gonna switch up my retrieve. I'm just gonna kind of just pop it, kind of like a popper. Just slow it down a little bit. Yep, that did it. Literally. As soon as I slowed it down. All right then. There was a frog eater down here. He ate that sucker. He ate it good. Don't do that. You're gonna hook me. I don't want to get hooked. Boom. There we go. One on the frog. One on the treble hook frog. All I had to do was just slow it down a little bit. There's the timer. That's last cast. Time to get another one. Devil's horse. I like that. This is some old school, but it's some good school. I don't really know if that made sense, but I like this bait. If you guys don't know what a devil's horse is, it is a little prop bait. There's also a couple ways that you can retrieve this, but I'll show you my favorite way. Throw it out there just like I do a popper. Let the little wake kind of disperse. Then I just do a little pull. You can see I'm kind of doing it with my rod and my reel handle. And you just give it a little pull. You can do a big pull if you want, but usually I'll just do a small little pull and it'll just kind of dive down. Those props will spin and then it'll sit. This can be a really subtle presentation, or you can make it really loud if you really jerk it, but I like to usually do it pretty soft. And this is also a really good bait around grass. Throwing it on the outside edge, it works really, really well. We don't have too much grass right here where I'm at right now, but I might go down there and try throwing it around the grass a little bit. Something just got eaten in the grass. Probably a brim eating a bug, but it could have been a bass eating a frog or something like that. But I just don't know why they won't eat my devil's horse. Oh, one just missed it. I got him. I got him. I got him. Let's go. He missed it. I let it sit there and then he came back for it. The way that that thing waked on it, I honestly thought he was going to be a lot bigger than this. Ooh, he almost just hooked me. He almost just hooked me. Probably should grab a pair of pliers. But you know what? YOLO. He's not big, but he bit the bait. See you later, Mr. Bass. Now I'm stuck in the briars. It's like a daggum war zone over here. Briars, hooks and a fish. It's crazy. We still got a little bit more time left, so let's see if we can catch another one real fast. He came up and swirled on it. Missed it. Then I let it keep sitting there. I moved it one more time and he got it that second time. Come on, kaboom, explosion, right there. And there is the timer. I think we've got time for one more bait. This storm is starting to roll in, the wind's starting to pick up a little bit, and honestly, I'm getting kind of hungry because it's close to supper time. So we're picking one more. We're gonna roll with it for another 10 minutes. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to get a giant on it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big old wake bait. This thing is actually kind of an expensive bait, and you can catch some dang big ones on this thing. So we're gonna put this on the braid rod. I have to cut off this crazy topwater that we did not catch a fish on, but we did have a bite on it, but we didn't catch one on it. And we're gonna tie the wake bait onto the braid. All right, last bait of the day. We gotta make it count. 10 minutes on the clock. Let's go. This right here is a little bit of a bigger bait. You can see it in comparison to my hand. And it is a bluegill bait. And I think that with a bait like this, you can call up a big fish. Sometimes bigger bass, they will hit small baits, but a lot of the times they like to hit something big. They want a big meal. And I tend to do a lot of live bait fishing in this pond with bluegill, and I catch some big ones. So you would think big bluegill wake bait, they'd eat that too. But I will say, if I think we're gonna get bit by a big fish on anything, I think it's gonna be this. I will say that. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, that's where I'd put my money. Oh, yes, dude. I thought that was going to be a giant, the way he just ate that thing. Lord have mercy, I almost just had a heart attack. I mean, somebody call 911. I got to get checked out after that. Goodness gracious. He blows up on it like he's a 10, when in reality, he's a 1. But hey, we caught a fish on it. That's another one to add to today's total. I don't even know what we're at, but with a blow up like that, oh my gosh, man, I thought that was gonna be a giant.